I have some very good news for Apple users on Instarem Amaze. That is, Apple Pay is finally available, which means you can now add your Instarem Amaze card to Apple Pay, and then you can switch between 5 Mastercards without bringing your physical Amaze card. How amazing that is. Now what this really means is that firstly, on security, you can hide your 16-digit card number from merchants because they will not know the original number. Secondly, you don't have to bring the Amaze card, especially if you forgot to bring it with your travels, your overseas. Then you remember, at least you have it in your Apple Pay. That's when you really need Amaze the most to save on foreign currency fees. Thirdly, is using Apple Pay online for merchants that accepts Apple Pay. You can now use Instarem Amaze directly. Next, heavy Amaze users can now buy iPhones and use Apple Pay instead of relying on Android phones because previously it's only available on Google Pay. Lastly, for those with iPhones, your Kris Plus can now use with Apple Pay via Instarem Amaze combo with Citi Rewards, because you know that Citi Rewards does not get any reward points for mobile payments like Apple Pay. But if you pay via Instarem Amaze, you can bypass this thing. And yes, I was first notified through my 16,000 member Telegram group who posted the news on Apple Pay there. So if you do not want to miss the latest news, come and join us in the Honey Money SG Telegram. Now let's recap, what does Instarem Amaze really do for us? Firstly, the primary function is to convert all physical retail spend to online spend. Because you know that some credit cards, they give reward points or cashback for online transactions. So it's very important to be taken to online. Second main function of Amaze is to reduce foreign currency fee. Like I said, not to make it zero, it's just to reduce, because you know banks charge a lot of foreign currency fees like 3.25% upwards. So an estimated markup between Instarem Amaze rate versus the spot exchange rate is around 2 to 2.5% depending on which currency. The number is not published anywhere, it's just based on my own real experience and calculations. But of course, there are limitations in using Instarem Amaze, especially on the caps, because if you look at just local Singapore dollar spend, there will be a 1% fee imposed on those transactions above $1,000 per calendar month. So you are limited to just $1,000, otherwise you're going to pay an additional 1% fee. Note that this is only on SGD purchases locally, so overseas purchases in foreign currency do not count. Then again, there is also a cap on 500 InstaPoints per calendar month. You get InstaPoints when you transact in foreign currency with a minimum of 10 Singapore dollars equivalent. But I guess this is not a really big thing because it is like 0.5% cashback, which is just icing on the cake, not enough to break the cake. So to this main purpose, right, let's cover some of these best credit cards that can use it to pair with Instarem Amaze, especially now. For iPhone users, you all have Apple Pay enabled, and the top credit card is none other than Citi Rewards Mastercard, because this will give you 10x points for online spend. Then this 10x points, you can use it to either convert to 4 miles per dollar, or you can use it to convert at 2.27% cash rebate. So it's really versatile, right? You can either use it for miles or you can use it for cashback. And the good thing is, Citi Rewards is like a general spend card if you pair it with Amaze, because it is not limited by what merchants, what kind of categories will earn 10x points. No, unless it falls under the exclusions like mobile wallet payments or, you know, travel. So Amaze kind of bypass the mobile wallet transaction, right? Because like I said, every transaction is converted to online. It is no longer regarded as a mobile wallet payment. So Citi Rewards Mastercard paired with Amaze, really the best combination since 2021. And I've been actively using it whether for local or overseas purchases when the need arises. But remember, the rewards points are capped at first $1,000 per month. So above $1,000, you won't get any more 10x points. And you see, it's similar to what the cap is set for Instarem Amaze SGD local spend, because above $1,000, you get 1% fee. So those spend above 1,000 Singapore dollars in local currency for the Citi Rewards Mastercard paired with Amaze. Next card from Citi also is the Citi Cashback Mastercard, and this is the higher cashback one, not the unlimited cashback one. So you will get 8% cashback on private commute and petrol, and also 6% on grocery and dining. You can even get up to 23.64% of fuel savings with selected petrol stations, and there's a combined cashback cap of $80 per month. So Citi Cashback Mastercard, you see, is quite a high cashback rate, right? And it's quite a good specialized spend card, but the only condition is that you need to hit a minimum of $800 per statement month. So if you don't hit the $800 minimum spend, you won't get a bonus cashback, which makes it quite a pathetic card. So for those of you who can spend consistently above $800 per statement month on petrol, on dining, on private commute and supermarket grocery, then I think Citi Cashback Mastercard is great for you, especially if you pair with Amaze. You can use it on overseas as well. And the good thing about Citi Cashback card is that there is no requirement for it to be online. The reason to pair with Amaze is just to reduce a foreign currency fee if you were to use it overseas, especially if you go on a Malaysian road trip for dining, for petrol and whatever. So far, Citi has quite some good credit cards for Instarem Amaze, right? And not only that, they have relatively good sign-up offers which you can check out from SingSaver or the Citi official website. But first, do you know that you can now get 1000 InstaPoints when you use my referral code HoneyMoney to sign up, and it's for a time-limited period only. So get your Instarem Amaze account with my referral code using my link right here. Third option is Maybank Family and Friends Mastercard, and this is a high cashback card that can give you 8% with conditions. You will earn 8% cashback globally on your 5 preferred cashback categories from a list of 10 options. So I guess it's really good for dining, grocery, transport, fashion, pharmacy, beauty, and especially if you use it for overseas spend. Because you see, the purpose of Amaze is to reduce the foreign currency fee. And now that it's a Mastercard, Maybank Family and Friends pair with Amaze, it's a good combination and you can get 8% cashback. The only condition is that you need to make a minimum spend of $800 per month, and then there's a cashback cap of $25 per category, so that will cap out at around $312.50. There is also 8% cashback on Malaysian ringgit transactions that fall out of your selected categories or for those spend amounts above the cashback cap, so you cannot transact with Amaze for it, because you have to make sure that it's charged in Malaysian ringgit currency. But I need to bring you a piece of bad news, because this video was filmed before the UOB X Amaze announcement, because UOB already excluded Amaze from 1st October onwards, which means that any UOB card strategy discussed in today's video will be nullified. So if you have any UOB card strategy with Amaze, best to do it before 27th of September so that it can be posted by 30th of September to get your maximum 4 miles per dollar or 3 miles per dollar, be it with the UOB Ladies or KrisFlyer UOB card. Take your chance now, prepaid if you want. Otherwise, from 1st October onwards, no more 4 miles per dollar or 3 miles per dollar, especially if you want to reduce the foreign currency fees. So take note. Fourth card, that's for Instarem Amaze, that's the UOB Ladies card, and that's a Mastercard as well. So you will earn 4 miles per dollar on 1 or 2 selected category, depending on whether it's the normal UOB Ladies card or the UOB Ladies Solitaire card if you qualify for it. And for UOB Ladies card, I guess the best category to put is travel, because it covers your flight and hotels, which most of the time you may pay in foreign currency if you're paying on site, or if you're booking with overseas airlines, you will need to pay in foreign currency. And if you look at other categories of UOB Ladies, it's really easily covered by other cards, just not travel. For the normal UOB Ladies card, you will be capped at $1,000 spent for the bonus points. And then if you are UOB Ladies Solitaire, you'll get a higher cap of 2,000 Singapore dollars. And I know that you'll get additional 2 miles per dollar if you pair it with the UOB Ladies savings account. But it has its own terms and conditions, which is to maintain at least $10,000 monthly average balance. So there's some opportunity cost in there. If you don't have consistent monthly spend above a certain limit, you won't really benefit. But I guess what the UOB Ladies card is good in is clocking the UOB One account spend requirement, because remember, you need to hit that $500 credit card spend per calendar month to get that effective interest rate. Fifth credit card on the list is a KrisFlyer UOB Mastercard, and from the website it will give you 3 miles per dollar on Singapore Airlines Group, including SIA, Scoot, KrisShop and Kris Plus. It will also give you 3 miles per dollar on dining, food delivery, online shopping, travel and transport spend. So you see, this KrisFlyer UOB card give you 3 miles per dollar, like lose to 4 miles per dollar. What's so good about it? The thing is, there is uncapped 3 miles per dollar, you know. The only condition is for you to spend at least $800 per year on Singapore Airlines Group, like you buy tickets via Singapore Airlines or you buy via KrisShop. And this can include budget flights from Scoot as well. So you see, it's quite easy to hit $800 per year. There was a reason to pair it with Amaze, right? Because remember, Amaze converts it to online. So most of your physical retail shopping merchants will now be considered online spend. And you know, online shopping gets 3 miles per dollar uncapped with KrisFlyer UOB card. But remember, if you want to use it locally, you are still subjected to that $1,000 SGD local spend cap. So if you want to buy luxury products in Singapore, firstly, it's very expensive, so don't buy luxury products in Singapore. If you go travel overseas, then yes, it's a good option, because foreign currency spend are not subjected to the 1% fee. Lastly, I want to talk about OCBC Rewards, where you can earn 15 OCBC dollars equivalent to 4.16% cash rebate or 6 air miles for every $1 spent at Watsons and in departmental stores, which is MCC 5311. Why is this important? We'll cover that later. Then you will also earn 10 OCBC dollars equivalent to 2.78% cash rebate or 4 air miles per $1 spent on certain retail categories, both online and in stores. So this OCBC rewards card is really targeted at shopping merchants with the shopping merchant category code. Now, what falls under shopping MCC? I think the most important thing you should know is MCC 5311 departmental stores, because that's where another player, Amaze, would come in with their vouchers on Amaze all being coded as MCC 5311, which means you can get 6 miles per dollar for any voucher that you buy on vouchers with Amaze. And you see, what vouchers are there on Amaze? There are really many other things other than shopping category. You want to buy furniture? There is Cots, there's IKEA. If you want to take private commute rides, you can buy Grab Gifts voucher. If you want to order food delivery, you can buy Food Panda. So Amaze just expanded this OCBC rewards card category to so much more, because with the vouchers on Amaze being 5311, you get 6 miles per dollar, which may be better than any other credit cards. But do know that OCBC rewards only cap it to the first $1,000 spent per month. So above $1,000, don't use OCBC rewards anymore. Then the next question is, why you need to pair OCBC rewards with Amaze card? The truth is, you don't really need to unless you want to check the MCC first. You need to check the merchant category code. If you're unsure whether it's MCC 5311 to get 6 miles per dollar, you can pair it with Amaze, because Amaze is a very good MCC checker tool as well. Maybe you just have to lock the credit card and then you transact it, and then the transaction will fail, right? Then you can check what's the merchant code. Or you can just switch your Instarem Amaze to the Amaze wallet with an empty wallet, so the transaction will not go through since no funds are deducted. So we've gone through some credit cards that are good to pair with Instarem Amaze. So what are some credit cards which you should not pair with Instarem Amaze? Number one is any card that is giving you less than 2 miles per dollar or 3% cashback. Because I know some of you would like to pair all these 1.2 miles per dollar cards like Citi Premium Miles Mastercard to Amaze and then use it overseas, right? But don't forget, Amaze also has its own foreign currency fee for overseas transaction. So if you convert the miles rewards percentage to kind of a dollar form, it doesn't make sense financially. The foreign currency markup is already 2%, and then you are just earning 1.2 miles and you're paying the markup fee. I don't think it makes sense at all. So for any cards that earn you less than 2 miles per dollar or 3% cashback, don't pair with Instarem Amaze. Maybe if you just use the card purely, it will give you better returns, because some cards give you better miles per dollar for overseas spend. Like Citi Premium Miles is already giving you 2.2 miles per dollar on foreign currency recently updated. Number 2 tip that should not be paired with Instarem Amaze are DBS credit or debit cards. Because you see, they already excluded Amaze since a long time ago. So DBS Women's Card, I know 4 miles per dollar, but don't pair with Amaze. It doesn't work. And number 3 is very obvious, but I always get asked, can I pair Visa credit card with Instarem Amaze? Hello, Instarem Amaze only work with Mastercard for now. So don't pair with Visa card, because you can't even add the card in. So don't ask me this question anymore, whether your Visa card can add to Amaze. And yes, I know that Instarem has undergone many nerfs and updates, especially this last few years. So if you want to catch the update of what is the latest news on it and whether that could end your Instarem Amaze journey, then check out this video right here.